Yeah, what's up, what's up? Hello. What's going on? Thank you so much for joining me. What's up? What's up, y'all? Yeah, Charmaine had a good show last night, did she? What's her channel's name? I think I saw it. I think it might have popped up. I didn't actually watch anything. I just noticed it was on. Yeah, man, I've been busy. Markets are pumping. What's going on, Tammy? DJ, word. I was listening to Mike DeMann. He was talking about... What was he talking about? Well, he's got a couple of videos in the last couple of days. I can't remember. Should actually go over and have a look. What the hell? Oh, yes. Now I remember. What a tool. Daniel, are you listening? You're a tool, pal. Oh my god. So disingenuous. So fake. You're doing too much, Daniel. You're trying too hard. All of these... He's a real public speaker now. He's a real... man. Not... What's up, house music? He brings up all of these points and then tells you that he doesn't want to go into them. I don't want to go into them. Well, what was the point of bringing them up then? He's doing so much to try to make it look like he's innocent. The more he tries, the worse it looks. So it really turns into an opportunity to grab some statements, analyze them if you need to. You don't really need to in these circumstances, but he had this interview with this drunk turkey dude. He's just a fucking knob. And you're right, by the way. He does look like Mo Sizlak. He does look a bit like Mo from The Simpsons. Especially, what was that, 2014? Somebody sent me a picture of him, of Daniel from 2014. Not that it's funny to make fun of somebody's looks, but he does resemble Mo Sizlak. He's not the only person that looks like Mo. Donna, you can't even listen. You guys are going to get sick of listening to Daniel. How many times did you need to... So I've learned that drunk turkey's name is Daniel. And DM Daniel Martell has to try to add that level of personality. Like he's really discussing this with somebody mano a mano in the moment, as opposed to, in a public forum, in a public space, in front of a camera. What's all this talk about the RCMP watching social media in that circumstance? Well, they watch Daniel on social media. Why wouldn't they? You think he looks more like Hans Klopek from The Burbs? I'll take your word for it, Squid. Such a handsome young man. Just such a handsome young man you are, Daniel. Is that what you want to hear? Oh, what a cutie. There's this story. It's just Daniel telling you stories, right? It's just Daniel telling you stories, and then you get it from his interpretation from a text. So he's upset, he says, at a particular canine handler who scrutinized him in the exact same manner that we all scrutinize him. Over the exact same things about the Thursday night. And what really happened that Thursday night. In one way, it was his way of answering the question for everybody else. Who knows if one of the handlers actually did that or not? The dog's name was Narc, he says. Well, I remember the dog's name. It was Narc. Why would a cadaver dog be named Narc? Does he do a little bit of drug work on the side? Some rug sniffing work? Why isn't he a rug sniffing dog? How is the cadaver dog's name not Narc? And maybe it's narcolepsy. Or what is that? Oh, what are those? What is that name? What's the rest of Narc? Thinking about narcotics. Maybe it's narcolepsy. Maybe the dog falls asleep all the time. Isn't that what narcolepsy is? No, but I'm thinking about something else. What do you call people who like to romance dead bodies? What do you call those? A necrophile? Necrophilia? Isn't it necrophilia? Maybe the dog's name was Necro. Interesting name nonetheless. Who knows? Who knows what really happened? Yeah, Amanda Graham, good to see you in here. Who knows what really happened? I do know one thing, that these statements that they gave that day are just absolutely bonkers. And Daniel, why are you adding complications to all of these statements after the fact? It's a rhetorical question, of course. Logan got caught in a lie over at Mike Demands. Mike Demand was calling it out last month about certain things about the blanket. Why doesn't Daniel seem to have any point? Why can't you get to the point? Why is it that you have no point? It's like these little games that you like to play with people's minds and lure them into discussing things in a certain way, as long as you use a few hand gestures. Dude, you're tweaking. Dude's tweaking. A failed drug dog? Maybe he is a failed drug dog, Squid. That's a good... I never thought of it that way. Daphne's case files. How dare you come in here? How dare you come in here, Daphne, and start talking about Daniel Martell in such a negative manner? Don't you know that he passed a polygraph exam? Don't you guys know that this Daniel Martell passed a polygraph exam? You should know right away that this man is innocent. Well, that's the easiest defense. Fuck. There's $1,000 a month. Why don't you just sign me up? I'll be your defense lawyer. How dare you fucking come in here and push your way around my live chat, trying to sway people into thinking about thoughts on the dark side. But, of course I'm serious. You guys, I was undercover. I've actually been meeting with Daniel in the background and collabing a little bit, getting the inside scoop. I'm really his friend. Actually, we're dating long distance. It's an open relationship. It's me. I'm his lover. Oh, shit. There's so much to talk about when it comes to Jack and Lily. And there's not. Daniel is in a situation where he needs to be there to direct the narrative because things don't make any sense. You know, and we can go far beyond now. We don't need any more. We know how guilty this son of a bitch is. But we still need to find Jack and Lily or figure out what happened to them. You know, the interesting part about it about this little message that he comes out with about this dog trainer is the fact that he's the one who's introduced to the world the topic of murdering the children. Well, isn't that interesting? Boy, he sure know what this cop wanted to do. This cop was trying to extract an admission out of him. Well, that's not exactly his job there, by the way. He can say whatever it is that he wants to say. I would have said a whole shitload of stuff to you as well. The fact that I'm an electrician, would you have held it against me? It didn't matter. Nonetheless, he's bringing up this scenario where, he's presenting it through text. Who knows what's really true? But he's introducing the fact that Jack and Lily are murdered. And it really was a loose, indirect Daniel-style confession right there. The fact that you even brought it up, in my opinion, is a goddamn confession. A goddarn confession. Excuse me, my friends. I know many of you have sensitive ears out there. I got a little too carried away there. 5 months tomorrow, Lily and Jack were unalived, and we are all still waiting for justice. Actually, it's just hours away. Say around 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight. That's what we suspect. And apparently that's what this dog handler who came across Daniel had to say to him. It's from BC. Look, nobody says you got to talk to anybody, Daniel. But it was okay because he went afterwards, this new dude, this new guy who was coming in with this dog from BC. That's British Columbia for you people who don't know. He called back to his friends at the detachment that he's made, and he brought that fact up, and they apologized on this other RCMP's behalf and the dog. On behalf of the RCMP, we're sorry that you had to have gone through that, Daniel says. That's what Daniel claims. We're so sorry, Daniel. God, it's just so hard. Oh, what's so fucking hard about it for you, dude? You know what, the RCMP have you caught with your pants down in the middle of all this, you dumbass. And you're pantomiming your way out of this. You're acting. There's nobody else acting quite like you, Daniel. Why is that? Well, Janie's close. Because there's a big gorilla in the room, and it has to do with being the last individuals to see Jack and Lily alive. Nobody believes that you saw them there on that particular morning. Much, much too vague. I'm sorry, Daniel. Your claims are much too vague. Oh, yeah, he's on a first-name basis down there. He's a junior detective. He'll be going to the policeman's ball, all right. I'm feeling great, Quillfish. Just fine. Daniel says the handler didn't know what a wood stove was, Tammy Burke says. Oh, right. Isn't that you assuming, Daniel? I would give anything for that to be true. Okay. How do you people go from my first instinct was in the woods to all them saying kids are not in the woods, 100%, bunch of liars? Donna, a person is allowed to change their mind in the circumstance just like you and I are. That's what he wants you to believe. That's what Daniel and Janie want you to believe. But the problem is that you were the last assholes to see the kids alive. That's the big difference. Is a need to control the narrative at any one point in time. And that was such an annoying, brutal interview, which you said absolutely nothing in, over on, what is his name? Daniel Turkey. We'll call him Daniel Turkey. Hey, Hey, idiot. You sat in front of that wood stove and you look like a fucking moron sitting on your own floor, by the way. You want the cops to believe that you're so sad that your family's just dissolved and broken up? No. Yeah, the pawn knows well. It was so obvious Daniel is lying, especially about the cause stuff. Cause stuff? Or you mean the CAS stuff or CPS stuff? I know what you're saying, Daniel. Well, you expect them to lie. You expect them to lie. And it was, and it matched our expectations. Yeah, Christine. Yeah, you can certainly see that through their demeanors. They don't quite know where to attach the right human emotions for any of this. Doesn't mean they don't try the odd time. So the question is, what do we do? What do we do from here? We continue to stand by and monitor this situation, but where did Jack, excuse me, where did Jack and Lily fit? Wonder what Malaya's doing right now. Like right now. I wonder what she's doing. Hey, Jenna, good to see you this morning. And you, Susan B., Norbeaster, and Broken Goth Doll. Not any more Broken Goth Doll. Everything's back tickety-boo, as they'd say in Nova Scotia. Janie's the one who was most inconvenienced, or was, do you mean? She was inconvenienced when the kids were there, and now when they're not. Well, the one thing's for sure, she's certainly trying to get things back to normal as soon as possible. Isn't it odd for a couple of caring individuals like they carry on and claim to be in front of a microphone that they don't seem to care one bit about where Jack and Lily could have been? And they certainly don't want to linguistically commit to any certain way of thinking. That would just direct the detectives in where exactly they need to go. As soon as they commit to something, you know what's going on. You can gauge it. You think the cops don't know they're being lied to? Mm-hmm. Problem is, this is the part that I don't like about the peace model. And it's the rapport that you have to build in a circumstance like this with the biggest scum mother effer, mother trucker ever in the world. Of course, we build our biases up. But we do that on behalf of Jack and Lily. And that's the only time I'll ever associate it. You need to question everything, especially when anybody goes missing under suspicious circumstances. Fuck, they don't even want to attribute anything suspicious to the fact that Jack and Lily volunteered to go out the door. And now they want to introduce all of these what ifs and these they're blatantly bringing in things that are absolutely stupid. The fact is that no matter what you bring up at this point, you have to have a reason for doing it. Always. And there always is a reason for doing it. Whether it be for deception or whether it be to distract investigators even more. He's not fooling anybody. It's not an ideal scenario for anybody, and that's by design. That's, it's made to be obscure. Oh no, Broken Goth Doll. Don't ever be too keen to put labels on anything because I don't like that question. In the sense that there's so much, a case like this is going to take a different direction, and I'll say it again. Think about Orton Orson West. It's the exact same scenario, no different. No different. And they came out of right field. And by the way, it was the evidence from the neighbor that meant everything. And so it will be in this case as well, I believe. Why? Because it tells detectives that something else occurred, and it points them in the right direction. Daniel didn't anticipate his neighbor to make that report or have heard him. And yeah, I say him because I'm not sure if it was him or somebody else, perhaps. It doesn't matter at this point in time. I say him because he's the one with the story. And that's where you'll be getting your information from. But in these circumstances, when you're dealing with 100% lies, you're going to have to expect lies. Expect more. That doesn't mean you're stuck. It means you have to gather the information in a different route. You have to go about things and prove things or disprove things in ways that aren't as direct. They're not necessarily ideal. But it's just that, no, it's not a cold case. It's just when you're going just think of it like you need to gather enough information to be able to convince a jury that at least the people that were last seen with the kids are lying. As soon as you can prove that to a jury, then you're good. You can start forcing heavies, and they're not that far away. They're not that far away from that at all. And even, we don't know what's actually going on because there's a big aspect to this, like with Malaya and her family, that we don't quite know about. Malaya especially. We do know that a tactic all along by Daniel is to pretend that he's admitting that, and Janie too, that here's what happened, and this just doesn't make sense. They'll jump you to the point in bringing up what you would otherwise naturally question, and bring it up as though it came to them first, and introduce it into the comment as a way of making it look like they're in agreement with you, like they're just as mystified as you, and just they swing a little bit of the pronouns around and play a game. It's a form of deflection. It's avoidance for sure, when you want to apply plaids to it. Absolutely, no doubt. And it goes against many of Peter Hyatt's principles. Expected behavior. And it's a great distraction. Don't even care about the blanket, to be honest with you. Still don't care about it. The fact that he wants to focus on it, it's already served its purpose. Daniel's a tweaker. Daniel does crazy things. You're the one douchebag that's introduced this whole story and scenario to us, and then he wants to not go into it, not go into it any further, or use it as a form of just numbing your mind into believing something, even if it's in a bullshit story. It's conditioning. There's nothing about that blanket that fucking matters to any of us, or Jack and Lily. Certainly, the fact is that Daniel or Janie never want to bring up why it's even relevant in the first place. You just want to talk about it at great length because you've got nothing else to fucking do. You fucking idiots should have been telling everybody why it's relevant in the first place. You usually do that before anything. You just want to play this game with answering questions that people pull from the mainstream media and pretend as though everything's hunky-dory. Everything that's been presented is true. Everybody sees you. So he presents it as this RCMP, this individual approached him stating really every good statement analysis mantra when they come across situations like this. And it's children just don't disappear. So you don't get it, Daniel. You can only play stupid for so long. You want to be everybody else. You want to agree and plant all of these seeds in everybody else's minds. But the big difference is that you're in control of all of the information that everybody out here is seeking. And you sanitize it, and you play with them, and you manipulate. The fact that you even need to do that to begin with tells everybody all they need to know about just how guilty you are in the murder of Jack and Lily. The fact that you're carrying on Mr. Logics like you think these two children are still alive at this point, completely bypassing any sort of rationale, logic, or even adding any context into the reason why. Just that hope is all you've got. That's the message that you really want to press on to the world. You're a child killer. 2 times over. Oh, sweet tea, thank you very much, darling. Much love to you. Much love to you and Chair Bear. I'll watch the replay if you're not live when I get home. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, you better. Appreciate that, sweet tea. Thank you very much. These guys get my goat. Daphne, who do you think planted it? The person who needed it planted? Daniel? Anita Benita? You ask it who's planting that pink blanket? If it's a big question in the first place, what's the question around it? What's the deal with the blanket? He wants to tell you all about all kinds of fucking things other than what's the relevance of the blanket. Amanda Graham's talking about, we have a program here in England called Faking It. They're behavioral specialists that pick up on micro movements. Oh, yeah. Oh, Daniel's a sucker for that lip licking, Amanda. It's like he's eating his own lips. Nervous about something? I got everything sticking together. I agree he would not purposely get rid of his source of income. An accident with the rugs. Got to keep licking these lips. Man, fucking wind in here. This humid desert winds here in Nova Scotia are drying my mouth out. It's hard to say whether that's the substances. Well, it can't be the substances. He's in Narcotics Anonymous 4 times a week to clear his name. It's funny how everybody just skips over that. Oh, whew, thank God. We were worried there, Daniel. Well, now we really think you're innocent, buddy. I'd love just to troll him with all kinds of patronizing shit all day long. Oh, boy. I can't wait till people start trolling him in public. Get it on film. Hey. He's going to be somebody around Pictou County, I tell you. Little Mr. Innocent. Wouldn't me? He's like Shaggy. He's going to be a true icon when it comes to child predators across the nation. You should open up like a hostel for them. Accommodate only to child predators. No, they don't like that on YouTube, Donna. I got better things to do in with my time to go to my way to troll them. I got a better idea. Why don't they troll them with the fucking Canadian Penal Code? Last time I checked, murder was illegal. Like, here's, like, you ask if this is cold. There's no fucking way you're going to be looking back in 35 years wondering about this case. That's cold. That's a cold case. We're talking about 4 months in. No. Cold case. Guys are watching too much fucking YouTubes. Watching too many cold case files, dude. See all these catchphrases linger in your head and you think that that's a thing. No. Listen. It fucking takes time. It takes time to catch people in lies and to prepare all the paperwork. It's bullshit, to be honest with you. But they can only allot so many people. I should be working at their front desk for them. We only have so many people on duty at one time, sir. Taking all your fake calls about the kids. Hey, Shay. Daniel was saying yesterday, what are you saying, Christine? Daniel was saying yesterday that as soon as Malaya left, his love for her was gone. He's like a country song. That's more like it. Fuck that. That guy cracks me up, Daniel. You crack me up a little bit sometimes. Then there was someone in the chat that professed her love for Daniel. Well, there's always plenty of attention seekers out there. Like you're talking about, listen, hopefully you don't fall for that trap. That'd be like falling for a romance scam. You're just looking to get scammed in that sense. That's really what most of them are. You're getting like reverse fucking hustled. YouTube is filled with them to the brim. Oh, Daniel, I love you. I love you too, Daniel. I love you, Daniel. I'll help you. I'll help you get away with this if you need. Oh, you're so cool. You're so fucking cool without that license. No fucking car. Broke as shit. No education. And a rotten fucking attitude. Horrible cook. Lazy as shit. Horrible oral hygiene. Man. And you live with your moms. Well, there's nowhere to go but up, my friends. There's nowhere to go then up, my friends. We've all been there before. Wolf 316. Yes, AB, I think Daniel planted. You're talking about the blanket and the boot prints? Oh, probably, of course. You don't be what we don't have. What we don't have. It'd be interesting to be there in the investigation and just to have a quick comparison, a quick booski and an eye comparison to both of the boot prints to see if the boot print see how well they matched up with Jack and Lily's actual boots, if you could verify them, and they did. But whether or not they were actually Jack and Lily's boot. If they were actually, like, if they matched up 100%, and you could then say there's a strong possibility that that's the exact same boot. You could even look into it a little further and match up some deviations within the boot, right? To get it more of an identifying factor. I don't know how you would do that, because obviously the boots are with the bodies at this point in time. And there's nothing else there? Oh, and Daniel wants to tell the cops in the moment that, oh, I think I heard them scream. I think I heard them scream just ahead of me, but then a helicopter drowned out the scream, and I couldn't hear it no more. Well, that is just something. Isn't that something? Yeah, you think that there would be... Daphne, you're talking about there has to be more footprints on the property? Yeah, you think that the place would be covered in footprints with the kids. It shouldn't be too difficult. That the only one was one right in the middle of the raked portion that Janie was raking. Right there. I don't know how it got there. Just a fucking one. It's like the kids were one-legged and just dropped right out of the sky, and it's a goddamn mystery. Like they didn't even make a trail. It would have been a little bit easier to take if it was a path where somebody walked, or you like made it look like that, right? If you were planting tracks. But no, you just go and plant fucking one. Nothing says a stage scene than something so stupid as that. Oh, geez, it's such a fucking mystery. What could it possibly be? Didn't take too much to fool these cops. Why the hell do they keep coming back to telling you that, like Janie wants to remind you that these aren't my grandkids, these aren't my kids. What kind of mother wouldn't put a fucking coat on her kids when they went outside? Can you believe it? No, probably not, Darlene. A 5-speed truck, stick, no. You're not being mean, but the kids went to bed the same clothes they wore all day, allegedly. Slept in them and went missing in them. They would have smelled really strong by tracking dogs. You're like two stinky kids in the bush in spring. Ooh, it'd have been easy to track. I wonder who put them in that direction anyway. Who got them thinking that the kids wandered into the bush? I wonder who that was. Oh, guys, now that you can't find them, find them, I don't think they're in the bush anymore. Just so you know. Before you start getting suspicious, I want you to let you know that I don't think the kids are actually in the bush anymore. It makes no sense. It's a mystery. Oh, but there's this fist-sized hole in a garbage bag in the front trash. And there's a blanket in there. He doesn't want to tell you anything about the blanket. It's amazing how much that fucking idiot sits there and recites without actually communicating anything. I wish Haley was wearing a body camera. Girl, you need to get back going on over there, Haley, with a body camera on. See if you can't catch him again in the act. Wonder if he does that around his mom. You get high around your mom, Daniel? I wonder what you're telling everybody in Narcotics Anonymous. Why are you judging Mr. Hemi? Why are you judging them based upon the fact that you don't have the same taste in decor? Maybe it's a new thing. Maybe Mr. Hemi 4-speed. They're purposely putting out decorations for whatever they celebrate. Things in the front yard in plastic totes. Rusty things. We've seen it before. Mattresses in the back, crooked fences, hideous looking fucking fences. The stupidest looking fences ever, by the way. Like, whose idea was it to build these dumb ass fences? Can you guys not go and you could even Google some plans and it would give you a more standardized fence, a fence that's of use in that sense. Who are you to judge, Mr. Hemi? Darlene Wright, where did you go? The pond, you're talking about when I saw the footage of them going through the trash, my first thought was, oh, how did you know to film it? Amanda Graham, your boys have a joint with you when they come around to visit. You sound like a cool mom. Maybe I'll come visit you. Your daughter doesn't like it? Well, she's killing your buzz, man. If scent dogs stopped at the end of the road, then obviously the kids were transported. No, not necessarily, Lori. You're not allowed to make that jump, but you can eventually. The scent stopped at the road. They couldn't get past the road. They would indicate that it was a strong possibility that but it doesn't actually mean then that. Too much. Janie hears cars coming, and she did not hear any cars, so she says, Donna, well, that's right. You don't know what to believe from Janie. You can't trust. She's an unreliable witness. That's going to be the best thing. That's going to be the best defense for Daniel in the future. Oh, you can't believe her. She's crazy. I think you're right, Broken Goth Doll. Janie, you feel Janie is a lot like the mad old cat lady from The Simpsons? That's a good comparison. She's got a reason to be so upset, though. Wonder what she was really crying about. Does anybody out there believe Janie about anything? The clothes were switched Thursday night, then burned in the wood stove. That's what the top dogs picked up. Speaking about that, hold on. Let me pull this up. The kids' clothes were switched. I'm not going into details. The suspect doesn't want to go into any more details. This is from Charmaine's last night. Is this what you're talking about? Excuse me. You guys are way too judgmental about Janie. She's a human being. She needs love just like you and everybody else out there. The problem is that she's never got any. She's got it a couple times. Well, she's got at least 3 times that we know of. Once with Justin, once with Daniel, and once with the contractor she had sex with that led to her divorce with Earl. Well, decisions is probably back in her drinking days. Lori, what if the kids weren't walked out to begin with, Lori Green? What if they were carried out? If the dogs came and couldn't get much past the driveway, what's that going to indicate other than, the fact that it's the kids' driveway and they get in and out of the car in the driveway all the time and the dog's just picking up on the fresh scent? You have to be there with it. I'm not disagreeing with you. If the kids aren't there, it's the middle of buttfuck Idaho in Nova Scotia. They're going to be using a vehicle to transport the kids or bodies elsewhere. It's not a question that really sits in my mind. I'm already on that assumption. What if Yeah, I don't know. Amanda Graham, I mean. Why do we think that the kids made it back from New Glasgow to begin with? I believe it's Cindy Murray's video call with Malaya that was at the house. That's why we believe that. Or that's why we assume that. Or it's safe to assume at this point in time. It was mentioned in the paperwork. How do you know, Miss V, that she didn't see? Didn't she hear the kids on video? What does it say? Miss V, Daniel doesn't have a driver's license. How do you know that? Did you run him? I think that's the assumption people are going on. I don't know if it said, it made mention of it somewhere, Julia Hayden, that between the video call, it's noted several times that Malaya and Patty and Malaya and her mother talk several times a day on the norm. This is every day. They talk more than once a day. So Cindy and Patty can't be that far out of the loop as to the situation leading up to the kids going missing. This is why Wade in his interview, we should go watch that. Wade in his interview is so powerful and so important, especially to us, because we kind of get a window on what's being said in the background, what's being hidden. And they'll be hiding it for 2 different reasons. They're both playing off one another. If Malaya goes down, Daniel goes down, vice versa. You don't need to know much more about the law than that, especially if you're on the wrong end of it. Slim, Letitia Staunch took a staged photo of Gannon in his bed, did she? I didn't experience that in real time. just after the fact. I'm not as familiar with it. Daphne's, I'm not sure if they do that in Canada. Most likely suspended for not paying child support. I don't know if you're allowed to do that in Canada. It's not the same as the US. That's not a common thing here. I don't think it's a thing. Anita Benita, you're asking why would they want an Amber Alert without accurate description of what they were wearing? That's their desperate attempt. They want the public perception in the story. It's so important that the story is believable right away, no matter anything else. Okay, so when you're making up a bullshit story, you want, they're so, like, remember they wanted the word to get out. For whatever reason, the word needed to get out for them. And it was real important that you look at the airports, and this is something that it's not. It's part of their early plan in all this circumstance. Because, well, you don't really know why, because it's important to understand that none of them linguistically commit to any actual, like when you ask somebody what they think happened to Jack and Lily in this circumstance, like a detective would in an interview room, that's the most common and important question to many people in this circumstance. They don't linguistically commit to anything, which is a huge red flag of deception. And it always will be. And it's not a one-off. Listen, it is. So you're free to speculate as to the reasons why, but Jack and Lily are missing. So one would have to do with the other, you would think. Miss V, do you know her? What do you mean she sent the kids every weekend? Who is the new babysitter? What do you mean about taking the kids to Patty's, you mean? So the point is, you know, listening to Wade is important because Malaya was tethered directly to Cindy and Patty in ongoing conversation, probably an ongoing gaslight session. Who knows what the conversations were about, but it seems to me that she's extremely needy or codependent in being torn in several areas. Wade claims that she doesn't seem to be showing any signs of any emotion with regards to Jack and Lily. What does that tell you when you're living with her in the moment? It's got to be a very bizarre scenario to know that there's two missing kids and here's mom just trying to move on with life and ignore anything negative in this circumstance. What are you saying, Daphne? You think he's behind in his child support? I don't know. I don't know. I could use some. Everybody that I know that gets owed child support gets screwed over somehow. That's the way it seems. I don't know, actually. I don't know too much about that particular topic. I should point out. Tells you she knows what happened there, Daphne. You're right. You're on the right track. Hello, internet friends. Hello, internet friends. It is me, Daphne. These government offices can take action. Yeah, sorry, I got mixed up here in my comments. Tammy, Wolf316, I get what you're saying. Kent said Daniel had a suspended driver's license and he paid a fine and got it back. There is something about his registration, though. For what vehicle? For which vehicle? Poor bastard. Registration or insurance? Yeah, it's a must in Canada. The fact is when you get busted for it, they consider that like one of the most cardinal sins in insurance. So they hike your insurance up like 100x. Oh, it's fucking disgusting. It's highway robbery. So they price you out for years in that circumstance if you don't pay thousands of dollars through the nose. But thank God Daniel doesn't have a job to get to. If he did, it'd be expensive. Now he's just disregarding all laws that we've noticed. Yeah, Jack or Lily were more than capable of opening or closing that particular door. That I have no doubt. I've witnessed it, seen it. Kids that young do all the time. Usually have a problem closing it after themselves and wiping their feet. You know what I mean? You have to remind them constantly. But it's part of the learning curve. Why would you be yelling at them? Of course they could get out there if they wanted. The question is, why didn't your fucking famous fences work? Oh my God. So it keeps adding complexities to the way that they, quote unquote, voluntarily left. Just randomly off into the wilderness. Oh, it can't be the wilderness. Oh. What is exactly you guys think happened to Jack and Lily? Janie? The fact that, you know, it'd be such an interesting claim and question for them to answer. We don't expect them to be truthful. But it's going to be interesting the way that they tie whatever happened to the fact that they still think those kids are living at this point in time. One, because they're still playing that blame everything on Malaya card. Yeah, usually 60 days of the pond, something like that, after you pay the fine. He didn't know if he had insurance or not? Osprey, that would be a no. You know, I paid my insurance like 2 days ago. And I notice every single time. Car insurance, that is. I'm in that state where I'm like, why do I pay that much for insurance for a truck that I need? Like, you know, I need to get a new truck, essentially. And I don't want to pay for it because I've paid for this. I don't want to have a car payment. But then I'm like, why do I pay so much for this? I'm in that stage. I'm like, yeah, always have to freaking pay something, don't you? The little wooden bridge Daniel did his CBC interview on, I wonder if it's the bridge where the star was found, Amanda Graham. I don't know. That I don't know. You can wonder with Daniel, though. Put your heads together. In your own opinion, Daphne, only reason why they haven't arrested is because they want the location of the children's bodies. High five on that one, girl. There you go. Now you're talking. That's more like it. Yeah, why would they complicate anything in this circumstance? Eventually, he's going to talk himself into, you know, giving up locations and what really happened. It's just a matter of time. They can't keep their mouths shut. Where is Daniel getting the money from? He paid a fine, probably back CS. Bought a big SUV, Osprey says. Maybe it's stolen. Maybe he traded it for a bunch of shake and bake. And by the way, Malaya isn't going to admit to anybody. Cardinal rule when you're in the dope game is giving up other people within the dope game, especially your significant other or ex or anything of the sort, because it all comes back on you on a street level and you can't control that shit. So it's better that you pretend that you don't know anything and you don't know anything about it while acknowledging the fact that Daniel was indeed an addict. You don't necessarily have to believe that in particular, and especially that. That's just a reason to deceive. You expect it. Hold on, me. The more he talks and lies, the stronger their case gets. Keep talking, Daniel. Absolutely. Especially when you can identify. Think about, to the majority of the people who watch and observe now, it's frustrating, but if you're collecting evidence against a person when you're trying to either prove, convince, accumulate a case against somebody, this is a gold mine. It's a gold mine to that type of person, which most of us are not. Callie, you go over to Ziggy's and do that. You're intuitive, but don't ignore the natural processes of how important statement analysis is, darling. Their communications has nothing to do with any sort of magical psychic energy. It has everything to do with the communications and their demeanor. No magic involved. Why is Daniel 100% confident that Lily and Jack won't be found? I don't think he's actually technically said those words. You're just putting those, you're doing what he's asking, okay? So when he's giving you a holy piece of cheese, you have to try to align the holes in that sense. He just told you he's 100% confident they're not going to find anything on his property. I don't think he's ever actually addressed that. That's a way, of course, one would think that was the interviewer's question, but again, he sidesteps, right? He sidesteps with the answer and goes on to answer something a little bit more comfortable. And there's a double whammy with that because he was so insistent on it. Like, he wants all of these factors, thinks that they're being brought in somehow mean more to his innocence than they do to Jack and Lily's being found. Word up, Brian Sutherland. Oh, fuck. You know what? Are you guys watching Major League Baseball playoffs? It's just got started yesterday. Fucking Jays got the bye. Probably be playing, I don't know, I don't want to say it's the winner of the Yankees Red Sox. But it's going to be sweet. It's nice to have a bye. But it's a fantastic time of year. October 1st, start of the fourth quarter. How dare you say that, Amanda Graham? You don't like Donald Trump? Are you talking about Daniel Turkey? Oh, Daniel Turkey is a puppet, a muppet? Oh, you can say that. Listen, it's all about the clicks and the views, boys. It's all about having them talk. You get up here and talk. Talk all you want. When you keep repeating the host's name, like, what is this? What is this? What sort of interview is this? Come on up here and talk. Come on up here and talk. First of all, this whole charade with getting people up and talking to you live is wrong. It's bullshit, especially in a circumstance like this. You want to protect the individual, talk to them off camera. Record a call between two of you in an knowing way. Get a statement from them. Just putting them on and on the spot is silly. But I do like to see, I know it's contradictory, because I do like to see some of what Daniel lies about. But, I just could never participate in that myself. I'd never feel good about it. Well, it's not that don't let that fool you. He's out here saying things in social media for a reason. It does the explaining to police on his behalf. He gets out here and does these things assuming police are watching it. Who's that, Donna? They claim we have absolutely no proof that Daniel hurt those kids. Who says that? Mm-hmm. No proof. Uh-huh. Tell it to the fucking jury, baby. Don't tell it to me. That's not an excuse you need to be using. You don't white knight for people. You don't know any different. So what is it they're actually doing? Nothing. You're championing for a probable child killer times 2. It's you who doesn't know the difference. Every time. This isn't a scenario that could be, couldn't be. This isn't a scenario like this. If you're on the side of child safety, is that what you're saying, Donna? He's a fucking idiot then. Dude, it doesn't matter. You guys are making me think a certain way about that. Who knows what he really believes? Who knows what his reason is for talking to Daniel? They're using one another. And that whole process tells you all you need to know about who's guilty in this circumstance. It's not like the first time we've seen this. All of a sudden, Daniel feels it important to come around to all of these YouTube channels, especially new ones who aren't tainted and biased towards them. Oh, you could. Oh, what happened to your mono with the CBC there, tough guy? Pink Stripe, what's going on? Their first interviews told it all to you, Tammy. Absolutely, right. I'm not all of a sudden gonna start thinking that they didn't do it, or they didn't have anything to do with it, especially after Daniel here starts introducing to everybody that the kids were murdered in the first place. Only he spoke through this allegation from the RCMP. You're the one who just brought it up. Well, you see, that took a while to get out of you. You see his paranoia. By the way, he's not off the drugs. He's taking all of these moronic, tweaking fucking things from Narcotics Anonymous that he picks up, and he's trying to apply it onto social media. That's exactly why he looks so stupid in front of that camera. Why he keeps repeating Daniel Turkey's first name. Oh, Daniel. Oh, Daniel. but everything's off. His neurotransmitters are misfiring. Right, it's leakage. You could take it as leakage. Absolutely, Callie. And we know where this is all going with what he's, with the rest of his cognitive load, we'll say. Yeah, no, there's nobody's believing. Sure, you can get rid of anything you want in a wood stove. But it's nothing to do with burning bodies. A 6 or 4-year-old burning a body in less than 12 hours? No. It doesn't exactly work like that. Although Daniel probably wants you to think that. It's been an issue because they were dealing with that right away. I mean, whatever happened between 9 and 12, they did it between 12 and 5 a.m. They got rid of those bodies before the bodies could start producing those organic compounds that the dog is trained to pick up. It's not like, there's certain things that they can look at when they put all of these pieces of the puzzle together and more accurately make an overall depiction of what probably happened. But the fact that there's no evidence of Daniel what? That's not for anybody out there to be identifying in that circumstance. There's all kinds of evidence of it. It's just that person's incredibly stupid. You can remind them of that, by the way. You would be right. Well, Explore Core, there's only so much that could have happened in a circumstance where you're talking about 2 children going missing from the home, from your own home, okay? The fact that it's unacceptable to a detective or anybody else to say that you don't know and you can't remember and the kids just walked out on their own, especially when you have a bullshit story like they presented as though they're sleeping and they can't quite remember in the moment. Everything was an in the moment bullshit lie, and they kept ahead of the narrative, just ahead, and altered the way that they were perceived through introducing all of the possibilities there in the moment for you. All right? Industrial strength trash bags, 50-liter construction bags. I think they sell them for like $12 at the grocery store. The bigger ones, I use them. They can hold a bunch of smaller. They have the 7.5-liter bags, up to 50-liter. Uno momento. You just have to keep an eye out. Where did the family go after their errands to get payday? Mary Ann, I'm not sure, Foster. Mary Ann Foster. I'm not sure what happened on the Thursday, do you mean? See, it's a bit confusing when you're reading it in the paperwork, because they both have slightly different accounts, and then the detective corrects Daniel because he was inconsistent with the story in that sense. I think the investigator thought he mixed up his days. He was making a note that there's an inconsistency. But still, when you're taking the report, you've got to take dictation in that sense. But there was a time in that statement where they were back at Patty's with Daniel just stayed in the car with the kids as Malaya went in and did the laundry. So it's odd to me that we can go back through it if you want. I don't think we need to, though. Malaya focused more on the laundry in her statements. We actually don't know that because there's so much redacted. Shouldn't say that. All of the good parts of the statements are redacted. Especially when it comes to the living arrangements and their transition between Patty's house and Janie's house. Blocks upon blocks upon blocks redacted. Which is probably good if you are putting your trust in the justice system and building a case against Daniel, because this is pertinent information that they don't want out necessarily. And wouldn't you know it, we can't fill in the blanks because Daniel or Malaya won't speak on it. Isn't that interesting? Miss V, why would you think they would bring him to Belinda's? No one's what the hell you're talking about. Nobody's validating your ideas. Nobody's insinuating that, Miss V. Are you in here spamming my comment section with not making any sense? Well, the laundry, Marianne Fraser, it can look like that. It had something to do because it was taking up most of their time and their activity, because they did the laundry and then they toured around, didn't they, on the Thursday? But they came back from Patty's, but they came back from that laundry trip late at 10:30. So there's so much in that paperwork that's redacted that you would love to read about, or information that you could get about what the conversations were about, if there was any ongoing conflict that you could dig as a detective, that you could dig further into with Malaya and Daniel, because obviously they broke up, and it was most likely not out of the blue. It was an ongoing thing. The same reason as December would be as why she left in May. It was an ongoing thing. Daniel doesn't want to talk anything about it. Oh, well, it doesn't have anything to do with Jack and Lily going missing. Oh, it does. 100% it does there, Daniel. Ironclad. Well, think of it this way, Osprey. If we're trying to hold down a time frame, it's not too hard to believe. How long is it going to take Malaya to do all of that laundry? So what's going on is you can only do so much laundry at once. You put a cycle in, Grandma Patty's laundry. Okay, you've got 3 kids, 2 kids, toddlers, a baby, dumbass Daniel, and yourself. There's 5 people you're going and doing laundry for, and God knows probably for Janie too. You got all kinds of garbage bags full, so it's going to probably spread itself out into like a day's activity trying to get through that, not to mention fold. So it's probably, okay, I'm going to go in and fold all of this and pick up our bags at once type of things. And Daniel, being the helpful little creature that he is, was looking after Jack and Lily because, of course, they were attached to him. Why would he tell investigators that in real time? That the kids wouldn't, he didn't think the kids would come out because they didn't listen to Malaya, but they had some sort of attachment towards him. What a peculiar thing to say to the RCMP in the moment. Word up, Silver Gold. Daniel took the weight off himself by putting it in the bag with the kids. Well, that's his going out clothes. No, that's silly. Don't be in here introducing or putting Belinda into all of this. Don't be bringing her in. You're just pulling something out of your ass. Okay? That's not a reason. Give me some reason as to why you would think a certain way, as opposed to just randomly pulling it out there and wanting to incorporate Belinda Gray into, being some sort of accessory to all of this. Nonsense. Well, that's pretty trippy, Cool J. They only wash their clothes every 6 weeks. They've got to have a shitload, a carload of clothes. That's ridiculous. Get your clothes clean and get yourself a washer. Get yourself an old washer for $150 off Kijiji and hang dry them. Like who goes out and uses somebody else's appliances to just that degree, like brings in absolute garbage bags filled with fucking clothes? It tells you the type of lifestyle that they're leading. It's just ridiculous. Like, what the fuck? It's almost worth them just to buy you a damn washing machine, not even to have to put up with your punk asses. Here, let me get you a $50 washing machine. Get the fuck out of my house. Never come back. Like, utilities aren't cheap. Think about running the washer and dryer all goddamn day. Think about running that washer and dryer that doesn't pay anything all fucking day, especially in the city with such high water bills in hydro. Do you think that they're getting their laundry done? Is Patty and the grandpa getting their laundry done and folded professionally and put away for them? No, of course not. They get their fucking credit cards maxed out. Allegedly. Hold on for a sec. I gotta keep popping my head out. My daughter's bus is gonna pull up at any time. So if I back away and you hear silence, you'll know where I went. So, a part of me can understand her being too tired when she gets back to put all of that away. Is it only two? Maybe it's 2 construction-sized garbage bags. You know how much laundry that would be? You would have to use one of those construction bags. Think about them folded up. How much you can fit into a garbage bag. You can fit a ton of clothes in there when you need to. Move with them if you have to. So, yeah, it's a bit of a thing. Maybe you do get too tired by the time you get home. But still, right? So it's 9:30. She says 9:30 when she got home. Daniel says 10:30, so there's an hour discrepancy in the paperwork between them, which is never really a big deal because they're dumb as you know what, and they're stoned all the time. But still, they need to hone it down to a better time frame. Is that your final answer, Daniel? Oh, by the way, Daniel, you're not looking any less guilty, by the way. Oh, yeah. I just want to talk endlessly about this fucking blanket. Talk endlessly about a blanket in a way that goes absolutely nowhere, just in loopy circles and all of these dynamics, these technicalities here, and no, nothing's simple or direct or any more clear. I would hope so, Missy Leger. She wants to know if I think that they folded laundry. Yeah, I would think so. I would hope so. Oh, that would piss me right off. Daniel, he could have been folding in all that time. Oh, I'm just going to stop back into my Grandma Patty's. Grab this load of laundry I've got in the dryer. And I'll be right out. So Daniel didn't even bother to go in. What a friendly, personable individual. Well, they must have been at some... I wonder... That's all blacked out in the paperwork, too. All redacted. There's a story there. Why don't we know the story? They obviously let you come back and clean the clothes. You probably held the kids over their heads. Where else are you going to do your laundry? You can't stay here. You got to get the fuck out. Okay, we found a place. We found this trailer. Can we come back and do laundry? This relationship. Like, I mean... Well, maybe it was laundry day, Missy Leger. She didn't have time to put any of the clean clothes away. All right? One moment, please. It was laundry day. And that's a Temu sweater. It's not even a real Hello Kitty. Like, that's a fake Hello Kitty garb. That's not something off the website. Believe me. I do my daughter's remote. I used to do my daughter's remote in Hello Kitty, and it cost me a fortune. But anytime we get Hello Kitty stuff, we make sure it's real Hello Kitty stuff. Not the hack stuff that you get from Temu. People put Hello Kitty on everything, but Hello Kitty does that too, but you got to watch where you get it from. Yeah, you're talking about that over at Mike's Lowy Green about the school bus or a vehicle picking. Yeah, that's true. It could if it was up there, if it was able to see it. You don't always have the right angle. Like, the only thing it indicates to me is that it's a staged scene in that sense. Especially the fact that nobody wants to attribute any importance to it. Daniel was high in that video, Silver Gold. He was stoned last night, or a couple nights ago on Daniel Turkeys. You guys named they're both Daniel. It's so cool. What are you saying, Explore Core? Not sure what Daniel thought he was explaining by saying the garbage 2 times bagged. If anything, it proves a wild animal got into. But bags are super hard to break open with bare hands. It's nothing. Not even communicating anything. Saying nothing. Here's a challenge for you, Daniel. Why don't you fucking make your point already? Why don't you make your fucking point before you go on and on about something? Yeah, Missy? You're saying that the boot prints, blankets, more prints, all going in the same direction, in the same area almost. I'd be looking the opposite direction. Yep. Well, just as strong, they recognize a stage scene when they see it. They don't second guess themselves, investigators. One moment, please. My apologies, friends. Thank you for being so patient. Yeah, you like that song, Janie's Got a Rake? I heard that. It's pretty good. Not bad. I'm having jubes, by the way. Something very sugary and bad for you, but they're so damn good. Come on, Rosie. Stop being so negative towards Daniel. You're talking about he's being lazy as, you know what? I'm sure he was the one who matched clothing and did Lily's hair. He heard he sat in the car too for a while. Being very negative. Okay, you don't have any more. You got enough. Heaven's sakes, how much does she want? Just had to put out a big snack, and then there's kids still want more. They think there's still... Okay, out of my cupboard. You have enough. Jeez Louise. That's okay, Rosie. Jealous and lazy. Sorry, Malaya had a lot to deal with. More than 3 kids. Absolutely, she didn't anticipate moving into that house. Daniel probably did it behind her back and told her mother it was an emergency and told Janie all kinds of bad things about the environment which they were living in. No problem, Daniel. You come out here for 4 months. We'll get things sorted out. So long as you thank me and worship me and lick my boots on a daily basis. Rosie, yes, Daniel is a human being too. I'm glad he's got all of that fake love and that false love coming in his way. Hopefully he falls for it. Somehow I don't think so, though. Oh, Daniel, you're so cool. Does anyone think... Hold on, where did that go? Does anyone think Janie ever physically hurt the children? I don't know, JC. Do you? What makes you ask that? Yes, true. She did. She said she threw snowballs at them. She did say that. That's correct. I had to throw snowballs at them. Look how fun this is, kids. Look at how much fun it is out here. Get out here. Whap. I'm not sure if she quite understands fun like a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old would think the same thing. I think it might be different, especially her interpretation of fun. I think that never actually got across to the kids. Well, how could you not fucking love these swings I just fucking nailed up here? Things were hideous. Like, you couldn't even play there. There's a big pile of wood right there because someone was too lazy to go that extra mile and just stack it underneath the woodshed, like just mere feet away. Like, why would you go? Oh, you snuck them out, you little turkey. You, bring him here. Bring them here. Well, if you're going to steal them, I want one. Oh, she did it to me. Fucking ate them all. She ate them all. Dude, out of my kitchen. Forever. Oh, God. Man, I've been watching too much Nightmare Kitchen. Too much Chef Ramsay. She stole all my fucking gummy bears out of the cupboard. She went around the lock. I have the lock locked down, and she fucking snuck it. It's a little package, and she worked it out in like no time at all. She is fucking smarter than you take. You know what I mean? She knows. That ticks me right off. Well, yep. New spot for the cookies. We're going to have to find a new spot. Man. I hope they were good. Well, I'm not too hurt. It blows my mind. The mother of invention. Yeah, Callie, you think that she was a witch to them? And they were terrified? I think it was a mutual... Listen. It was not an ideal situation, living situation for anybody. And it was temporary. What was it that Daniel kept promising Malaya was going to get better? What was it? What was supposed to get better? What was going on that was so shitty that you had to promise Malaya that things were going to get better each and every time? Each and every time for a long period of time. Like, it's not like it did get better, right? Oh, yeah, in a frozen broccoli bag, Missy? Actually, it's probably a good idea. I'm not too concerned about it because I usually have locks. I let her put it back in the cupboard. So, I mean, she put it back in a way that she was able to go back later and just inch the cupboard open far enough to sneak those bad bastards out. That's fine. It was almost done anyway. That's why she got it. The bag could flatten. But it was still against the rules. Especially that we just had a handful. It's all about portion sizing, right? You don't have to have 20 Cokes just because there's 20 Cokes in the fridge. You don't have to drink all 20 at one time. You can sip it. See, that's the problem with autism and my daughter. There's no portion. It's like, oh, I can have some cheese. It's the whole fucking brick of cheese. It's not just, oh, I'll cut a few pieces off, put them on my sandwich and enjoy cheese. It's the whole damn thing. You got to control these things or you'll be out of money in no time. No more groceries, no more foods in the house. And she doesn't give a shit. But she's 18. My old daughter. She's 18 now, boys. Can't call the CPS on me no more. Yeah, I'm an old dude. I'm an old man, Broken Goth doll. Yeah, Mandy Graham? I think you're fantasizing about having a snowball fight with Janie in that trailer. That's an angry... You're fighting a vicious dog, an angry dog. You can't blame the animals in that RV for being upset. They don't like to be locked down. Would you like to be in a crate all day like Janie? Or Janie, excuse me? That's what Janie's problem is. Oh, you can come back in your own bed sometime next month. Okay, next month comes. Maybe a couple more months. She's been strung along. And it's, guess what, Malaya's fault because she doesn't do anything. What good does she do? She just walks around here with all her goddamn kids all day. Doesn't look after them. Pretty soon, Janie starts to find problems with Malaya and lets Daniel know all about just how much of a hussy she thinks Malaya is at every step of the way. What good do you bring to the relationship? You're getting my boy involved with some woman who's got a church full of kids when he's already got kids of his own. He's already got his own kids, the important kids. Who the hell are you to be bringing your kids all up and in here, not to mention getting knocked up by my boy Daniel? Well, the kids stole olives. That's not such a bad thing. It is when you want to go and use them, though. It could be worse. I do love smoked salmon, Silver. Oh, God darn it. I do enjoy smoked salmon. So you guys all took in his latest. Well, what did you guys think of how he portrayed himself over on Daniel Turkey's show? It was a little bizarre to sit there and watch. I had enough at Mike's. I had enough with that. I had enough Daniel Turkey show at Mike's. I guess Janie got what she wanted, revenge on Malaya and her trailer back. And she even gets to threaten Malaya from time to time. Who was bringing up, was it Lori Green? I am a bit disappointed in Malaya's side of the family. I am. Because silence in this situation, no matter what, you're choosing to sell out Jack and Lily and their lives just to save Malaya in this circumstance without any sort of accountability or the truth coming out in a circumstance like this. You're just as evil. That's just as evil. No matter what. So hopefully that weighs on them for a little while and they break down. They will. They know the problem. So what the fuck is it that you're just allowing Malaya to be moping around with this little secret? That's a big problem. What is it you're exactly protecting her from? And why would you be protecting a child killer potentially? Why would you be protecting a child killer in order to not complicate her custody battle to get her last child? If you want to fix this circumstance, and we're almost 99% sure drugs are a factor on both sides, drugs and their addictions, you need to come clean with the truth publicly. Clear the air. I don't expect Daniel to, but Malaya's side, they know what happened. I don't believe them that they don't. Maybe it's not being talked about or said, or they know it's being ignored, but they know what it is that they're ignoring. Silver Gold, he was high. You talking Daniel over on Daniel Turkey's? He smiled at the wrong times, licking his lips. He's licking his... it's hard because he got these great big fucking chiclets. Blah, 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 blah. Great big cocksucker on him. Great big gaping mouth, licking his lips all the time. It's a lot of work just getting words out and emphasizing things a certain way. Looking like Mo Sislak. But it's ridiculous. He didn't say anything. But he's looking for a place just to say all of these important things. Oh, let me be just so personable with you. You're not even being personable with the guy or open or genuine. Who the fuck do you think you're fooling? It's ridiculous. But keep doing it. We love when you look stupid. We love the highlight reel. Yeah, Lori, me too. I say that, but I can sympathize with the reasons. I can understand the reasons why they want to protect her in this circumstance, but that would only buy you a certain amount of time. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've got a certain amount of time to figure the F out, or I'm going to be doing it for you. Of course they're adults. They're adults when they have, felonies waiting on them. Oh, you can sort out your own problems, Daniel. You're a big boy now. You think Patty was too close and wanted his opinion and to feel them out by going over and checking on the situation? What do you mean, Explore Core? Whose opinion? To feel who out? What in the hell are you talking about? Got me. I'd say they know. Wade knows. Wade knows what happened, and he spelled it out and gave you all of the reasons why he felt the way he did. He wasn't pulling it from left field. If Patty knew that there was an issue, well, she may not have. Patty isn't in the greatest of health, is she? Like, Patty's in a situation where she's fairly easily manipulated, I believe. She's not, she doesn't know what Malaya's true intentions are, especially under the influence and things like this. She's not wise to this particular situation. She's in the dark, potentially. That's all. The first thing you're going to ask, the first thing you're going to be concerned about is when the kids come with Malaya, all of a sudden they're showing up with black eyes. Well, that's new. What happened? No matter what, you smile and you say, oh, okay. But then you're thinking, I wonder what really happened. Oh, fuck. Lori Green, you're getting way too theoretical in all of this. Who knows? Why would they get Malaya to sign her children over? You're getting way too ahead of yourself with these assumptions. That's too far. That's too far away from the issues or problems at hand, I feel. At the end of the day, it's not their fucking problem as to what Daniel and Malaya did. Because it happened doesn't justify going back and saying, well, why didn't you fucking do this? I don't know. Why didn't you fucking do it, Lori? Because it wasn't your place? Probably. That would be the answer. Yeah, Norbeaster, it's infuriating. It can be, but it's not an argument that I like to sit and wonder too much about. It's never an issue. Why Daniel did what he did, and Janie and Malaya to Jack and Lily, that got us to this point, is more relevant of a question in that sense. Oh, you're responding to somebody else, Explore Core, about Durwood? Jordan, get out of my inbox. Every time I go up to Facebook, I see this Jordan Geddes sending me another message. I should go see what he's saying. You're a douche, dude. You're irrelevant. Your dad's a fucking idiot, too. This Jordan must think his daddy Durwood is just the man. This guy's a fucking idiot. And he's an accessory. What do you think about that, J-Rod? DV is what I meant. Oh, I see what you're saying, Explore Core. I get what you're saying. What do you think happened there, Missy Leger? What do you who do you think is responsible in all of this? Daniel? Well, how could he be? Look at how much he's out here talking. Anybody actually fall for that? No. I'll go over and check, JC. Why don't you go check? Oh, you guys. Hungry Eyes. That's a good song, Norbeaster. Are you singing it? Oh, that's not a nice one, Norbeaster. He's not going to be in. He will be in protective custody in that sense. So he won't be around a lot of other people, I would imagine. Yeah. Grey Wolf, yeah, you're figuring that. I get it. What do you mean Daniel panicked? What panicked from what? What was the opposite? What was he panicking from? I'm talking about a double murder. Tammy, you're saying Daniel was talking about children's aid previous involvement? I put the article right on that page where it says CAS was there for the living conditions. Yeah, you're meaning that he mentioned that? Yeah, well that would go without saying. They're concerned about the living conditions because there's three children in this small space in that sense. Yeah, Christine, are you talking about Daniel Turkey? Oh, I'll watch it over on Mike's. I've got no interest in playing any of it unless it gets put together like Ninchi does a good job with compiling the statements up. I wait for that. It's not like you're going to learn anything new in that sense. Missy Leger. Wow, you're really out there. You don't think it's Daniel at the moment. Okay. Well, it's kind of difficult to say. They're all going to be guilty of their own special little part in all of this. Eventually. We're talking about, do you think somebody brought harm to Jack and Lily? There was foul play and it was coming from inside the house in that sense, Missy, is what I was getting at. Now, what did you expect them to do, Lori Green? You're bothered that Wade spoke out to Tint? Lori, why? Oh, that he spoke. Oh, to speak out now, as opposed. You think that he could have been speaking out a lot sooner in that sense? But if he's only getting his information through Cindy, then wouldn't your blame go back onto Cindy in that circumstance? And what you would have to be sure of what you were angry at them for first. We have too much information to gather. Magdalene, good to see you, by the way. Yeah, Daniel Turkey's on in an hour. Is that what you said? Are saying to me? Yeah, Lori, prevention is better than a cure, but you have to know what you were preventing to begin with. If it was that bad back at that point in time, well, there's a process that they go through. It's not, they don't automatically take your children from you in that sense. You're asking for something that's never going to be. It was a new situation. It was a new living situation to them. They just started school, so it would possibly opening itself up to be a greater problem. But nonetheless, it was adding a stress onto the family internally. Yeah, but they were just choosing to ignore their issues anyway. That's probably fairly, I would think that would be obvious just by the condition of the home. It's too tight of a call. Yeah, I get it. It's not an invalid point, Miss V. I get it. I'm just reading your statements. Like, you got a point. Why did it have to get to this point? They obviously had the opportunity in December, but they can only do so much is the answer to that. J and M effed up. Not sure what yet, says Missy, but something in your opinion couldn't be 100% probable that it was just one person. And D helping them makes all of them guilty. Daniel Turkey is perfect? What, are you a big fan, Julia? What the hell? Or you mean the name? Well, it's Daniel Turkey. It's what it is. His name's Daniel too. You have to distinguish between the two of them. Oh, you're such a fucking famous guy. Just a dude trying to do a fucking talk show here. Daniel. It'd be a different topic. CB, why the fuck would I want to do that? Why would I have or can I cover the 2021 June missing persons case of Daniel Robinson in Arizona? I have no idea about it. I'll have a look at it, CB. Well, at this point, Osprey, I hope that they were open and honest with what it is that they knew to the RCMP about Daniel and the living situation. More so than I wish that they did something different earlier. I hope that they told and were completely honest and didn't try to, omit any sort of information to investigators on behalf of Malaya at this point in time. And I worry that that's what's happening. How the fuck anybody could live with themselves, I don't know. I'm Andy Graham because Daniel Turkey is applying the same peace model as the RCMP and building rapport with the suspect in order to keep him talking. Daniel has a need to come up here and spread propaganda over his innocence. That's you're putting too much on his plate. He's just a dude trying to do an interesting show with, that's relevant to the case. I don't think he's intentionally trying to be a fucking idiot. You wonder why he didn't go in hard at Daniel, because Daniel wouldn't go on his show anymore. He wants to give Daniel a comfortable place to talk because he feels somehow in this circumstance that's important. That's Daniel Turkey. I'm not a fucking sellout bitch like that. I don't need to fucking placate to guilty individuals in order to get something or get money here on the internet. All right? It's much easier coming up here unscripted and telling you and talking to you coming from a real sense with a real scenario. Why? Because you don't get that on mainstream media. You don't get that fucking anywhere else. You don't get it anywhere else. You want an honest conversation about it. It being this particular circumstance, you have to come to places like YouTube. And on top of that, there's very few people talking about it in a reasonable way that's ever gets interesting. It's why statement analysis is always important. In the best. Anything else just gets annoying and sometimes off kilter. But the whole point for Daniel being here is to propagate. Is to spread disinformation in that sense because he requires it. He needs to do the convincing. He's convincing the RCMP by proxy. Not that it's working, but it's better than sitting around doing nothing. Word up, Sandra Neal. Callie, why did Malaya leave Daniel? Why did Malaya decide to leave Daniel? So it's really bizarre that the kids, it was so bad there around the trailer that the kids allegedly voluntarily left on their own just ahead of their mother. If they'd only waited another 6 hours, Malaya could have took the kids with her. Isn't that bizarre to anybody? Just a coincidence. Miss V, where'd you get that from? Cindy pulled something like, did you do this or did he do this? Get in the car? You mean in the altercation, or when are you speaking of? When Cindy got her in the car before they left? Would be the only time, I think. You were still unclear about exactly how that went down, aren't we? But something along those lines. Daniel told Cindy to F off. Fuck off, Cindy. Fuck off, you bitch. How dare you? That's my bitch. How dare you come over here and try to take my woman away from me? Yeah, Ms. V, it's a curious situation. Took 5 minutes for Malaya to change. She talked to her mom and everything changed. Well, that's partially Daniel telling us that in that circumstance. It's not that... It couldn't have been that far off from the conversations that they were already having. She was already planning to leave. this, it would have got old really quick in that circumstance because it's not the first time. And Cindy's always being pulled into it. So from Cindy's perspective, she would have had a problem with it, for quite a while. Now, of course, he's not being treated right. Why would Malaya want to stay there if you're not even participating in the family in that sense? You're high on the mathematics, on the crystal. All right, this is known as a divorce drug. It's a dissociative. Tuck yourself away, play with your wood fence, and jerk off. Chronic masturbator. Then you sneak into the bedroom way late at night. You stayed up when you got back from doing laundry. What did you do, Daniel? You want everybody to believe that you did do anything. You went to bed fairly early, you said, but according to Malaya, she went to bed far before you, and it was already 10:30. I'm pretty sure she didn't go right to sleep. But you told the cops that you went to bed fairly early that night. Who's DS cousin? DS. The hell is DS? She was already planning to leave, and then he did what he did. Shit's kind of really how she's portrayed it early on, wasn't it? She tells us that in her statements, Kelly. Yeah, I would think so, Miss V. Cindy knows the kind of individual Daniel is. Maybe Broken Goth Doll. You got that from the beginning. But I'm not sure this scenario. Now she wants to hide behind her silence behind the fact that she's trying to get Meadow back. But there's no possible way that you're going to get Meadow back with the way that you guys have left this case, this scenario, as though there's this hanging mystery. You'll never ever be able to have your children back in this circumstance. I should say never, but you're going to have to spill the beans to a certain degree. Who's 5'5", 5'6"? Mo Sislak, Wolfie? Daniel's 5'6"? No, he's nice taller than that, isn't he? Amanda Graham, I think she called her mom and told Daniel Thursday night she's leaving first thing with the children. He did what he did to hurt Malaya. Meadow was scared because she was his bio daughter. Why would Meadow be scared? My apologies. I just had to attend to something in the background. Oh, I don't know about that, JC. Daniel loves the fact that we're all talking about him. I don't know about that. He would prefer we didn't. MBM could have waited till after Daniel went to work to leave him. Even with Daniel off on stress leave. No, I wonder how much of it's just in the moment, because it was presented to them that they had to do something about the living condition at that point in time. I think this is where, I keep thinking this is where Lori gets her angst from in that sense. Because if you're going to, as CPS, wait till after something happened, which is kind of the way it looked at this point in time, if you were just months ago already there, but now forced to do something because of the circumstances, and that's really what happened, in its bare minimum, is that they told them that there's no way that we're going to allow Meadow to stay in this house any longer at that point in time. So she had only so many chances. There's so many choices. With the situation like it was, I would feel that I don't know. I don't want to start telling you what I would have done, but it's neither here nor there. You could see that where Cindy would have wanted to use that opportunity to help Malaya rather than put her out with a bunch of strangers in a volatile situation. Something that's spinning, and obviously not as it's being presented, right? Like something else is up. She needs to get away from the situation at that point in time. Like, what more has to happen? And that's what I feel was going through Cindy's mind. But I understand what Lori, because it would piss a person off. I understand why people start there. I just don't need to go very far with it. Yeah, it's a hell of a fucking thing. But none of me blames the system. The system's bullshit and it sucks in the first place. And it's never good enough. But it doesn't take away from the accountability that the parents have in this circumstance, especially at this point in time. There's plenty of room for blame down the line when you have a reason to. It'd be nice to get there. It'd be nice to get there first. Excuse me. What's that, Explore Car? In your opinion, if Malaya told Daniel the night before that she was leaving him, she would be on high alert until she got out of there. I think DM knew she would leave him and probably thought she was being unfaithful. Well, I think that she knows how volatile he gets under the influence, and she knows that he's an addict, and she has to treat him accordingly. That means lying to the fucking guy. That's what it means. You have to do what you have to do until you get out. It's always been on the agenda. Getting out has been a priority to her. But procrastination and actually doing it and making that step is probably a problem for her. Because like with many people that get addicted to substances, the more that you abuse them, the far away from the person that you are to the other. I'm talking to the perception of the person who loves you in the moment. When you're abusing those substances, that person knows how bad and how crazy that you can get. When you're not on them, you can be a completely polar opposite person. You can be the person that she first fell in love with in that circumstance. The problem is the person that you turn into under the substances, and that affects you all of the time. That's going to be her underlying problem to everything. It was inconsistent. She didn't know who she was with. And when you incorporate in those particular substances, murder sadly enters the possibilities. Now, whatever was bothering Daniel at that point in time, that's what's interesting. The things that would have been bothering him leading up to May the 2nd, all of the problems in their lives, what would he have been overly sensitive about around Malaya? What was there to be promising? What was going to be getting better? Their living conditions, their future prospects. What was it exactly Malaya wasn't satisfied about living in that beautiful trailer, I wonder? Like, these are rhetorical questions, obviously, but these are irrelevant questions in this circumstance. Ones that people need to focus on. Well, Callie, it's a strong possibility. Like, it was around all of the kids if he was doing it and using it in the bathroom. He's probably got all kinds of tricks up his sleeves. Who knows the possibilities and the risk factor of raised to an all-time high in this environment for the kids. You can't ignore the risk factor that these kids were already in. To what? To exactly what happened to Jack and Lily. That. They got themselves disappeared in this circumstance. Most likely murdered. Yeah, you don't think the stress leave is true? Wolf 316? That was in the paper I read. Oh, it's just something he told the reporter. Actually, I'm not working now because of stress leave. So stressed out. Got all kinds of reasons to be. It's not easy trying to get away with a double homicide, you know. The problem is that Daniel thinks that he's smarter than each and every one of you at home. Well, I wonder why they don't talk to one another. You have to ask whether it was a good or bad breakup. What do you put on your Tinder, Malaya? That's not famous. Notoriety, Christine. He doesn't know the difference. Well, when you're speaking to the masses, it's a historical truism. But again, he's only fooling himself when it comes to an investigation into missing children. It's all in vain, in the sense. No, JC, it's not actually a fan club. If you understand the types of individuals that want to be involved in something like that, most of them are there for their own personal reasons, to be a contrarian, to get satisfaction, just troll. Has nothing to do with actually believing in Daniel in that sense. If you believed Daniel's story in the circumstance, you're stupid. Absolutely. I don't know, CB. You tell me. You go figure it out and tell me. Daniel's new girlfriend, eh? Oh, I'm so jealous. Most of these people live in a fantasy fucking world. There's nobody is dating Daniel at this point in time. Oh, what a sexy dude. I just love that fucking striped shirt and gold chain. Oh, you wear those black pants, those slacks that you wore on TV? Oh, that's so cute. Fuck off. Daniel is a fan. No, you guys, you've been through these scenarios before. This is why you come to social media, to get these crazy people. It just makes yourself feel better in this circumstance. It's not really fooling anybody. Really, it helps him build his narrative. Come up with the most plausible denial. As it would when you're trying to get away with something, and it's only important to one person. That's the person who's trying to get away with it. Everybody else is completely oblivious. Honest people don't cause chaos and confusion when two children's lives are in question. DM is trolling us all, says Chip25. Yeah, that's an understatement. I don't know that he's trolling us all. He's not trolling anybody. He's trying to get away with a double homicide. But he's not fooling anybody. Especially 99.9% of the people that come in and out of this chat. Most of which that are fabulous, by the way. Most people are fantastic and have the right intentions, right motivations to be here and care about children. I care about most children. Some of them annoy the hell out of me. It doesn't mean I want them unalived. You guys have no respect for Daniel. You guys need to stop judging Daniel and Janie. Please, don't judge them. Just judge them based off of their honesty. But that's a fantastic statement, Chip. Thank you for bringing us back in line here. Brian, you're saying Malaya's no better than Daniel? At the end of the day, you're right. She should be speaking out against Daniel at this point in time, but she's not. I wonder why. But I think our answer, like she's trying to ignore all of this until it blows over, like you do. You know, kids go missing and you just lay low till things blow over. What? God. Like how could that be a possibility? How many of Daniel's girlfriends are in my chat right now? Hills Taylor, you're Daniel's girlfriend? I was his girlfriend. I'm his girlfriend. For as long as you got the money. Sugar daddy. Hills Taylor, Daniel is a busy boy, that's why he's blocked you? Are you sure he's blocked you? On his sock account or his real account? Christine, you think Janie and Daniel have a close relationship like that? They do now. They live in the same trailer. I wonder where she's sleeping. Wonder how the dog's doing. Hair growing back a little? You guys been keeping an eye out for the kids? Maybe they'll be coming back. Keeping an eye out, keeping a candle in the window. If Malaya Brooks did hide the kids, which she did, why are you even bringing that up? It could be because Lily, according to Daniel, had a black eye. I don't even know why you're putting that in my chat, CB. It's not even on the list of possibilities. Malaya didn't hide the kids, CB. Is that Durwood in Heels? Durwood in Heels. That's like Alice in Chains. That's a great name for a band. Justin was living with his mom, just saying. When? Just temporarily, when the old lady kicked him out, but they got back together, didn't they, Brian? You guys are horrible towards them. Guys are so judgmental. The Martells need to sell their couple acres, get lawyers. Miss Brooks gonna take a deal. Lisa S., you feel the deal too? Daphne's got it right. Is Daniel Turkey on yet? It's going on 3:45. Guys, I'm going to shut it down. Thank you for stopping by. Get over to Drunk Turkeys and come back and tell me how it goes. I'll see you over at Mike's. Shout out to Ninchi and Daphne. I'll be back in a little bit. As soon as there's something to talk about. I've actually forgot what I came live to talk about today. We actually came live to talk about some of the statements in the initial reports, but we got sidetracked talking and bullshitting around. But it's all right. It's 10 to 5 where you are, Brian? Oh, you're out east. I'm like, holy shit, my clock's off. I fell for that. Sorry about that. I'm an hour behind. Oh, guys. All right, man. I'll be back. We'll be back in a little bit. What? Magdalena? Give me $20 super chat. Thank you for very much. If anyone would hide the kids, it would be Daniel. Well, Daniel did hide the kids. Isn't that what we're saying already? One of those trips, 2 of those trips, 3 of those trips. What were all those trips for between the hours of 12 to 5? Daniel is the one who hid the kids. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Peace. Ba-ba-ba-ba.